The gentle hum of bees filled the air as the Buddha walked through the lush gardens of Jetavana Monastery. Disciples followed behind, their footsteps soft on the earth, their hearts eager for his wisdom. His voice trembled as he shared his story of betrayal. Master, I gave selflessly to a family in need, providing them with shelter, food, and care, Ananda began. Yet, when fortune smiled upon them, they turned against me and dismissed my kindness as weakness. Tears glistened in his eyes as he awaited the Buddha's response. The Buddha, his eyes serene and compassionate, listened with undivided attention. He then spoke, his voice a river of wisdom. Sadness arises from clinging. Ananda, he replied, it is our attachment to permanence that causes suffering. Those who give expecting gratitude often bind their hearts to disappointment and sorrow. The gentle rustling of leaves accompanied the Buddha's measured voice. True generosity is like the sun, which shines upon all without discrimination or desire for acknowledgement. Ananda, the Buddha, continued, the world is filled with people who take without gratitude and exploit without remorse. His gaze swept the assembly, engaging each disciple. This reality need not harden your heart or diminish your compassion. The Buddha then shared a story to illustrate his teachings. Long ago, there was a farmer named Danu who lived in a drought-stricken village. He began. Danu was a man of immense kindness and shared his water with his struggling neighbors. His actions saved lives. Yet when the rains returned, those neighbors refused him access to their abundant harvests. The disciples practiced breathing, their minds surrendering distractions, their hearts embracing the simplicity Buddha described with reverence. Breathing is universal. Buddha said, it unites all beings and connects them to the flow of existence surrounding and within. Ananda asked again, Master, how do we balance awareness of the breath with life's demands and inevitable challenges? Buddha responded, breathing teaches patience and presence. These qualities become the foundation for navigating life's complexities with grace. Danu chose to continue giving, his heart untainted by bitterness or expectations. Ananda, those who scorn kindness often carry the heaviest burdens of ignorance and self-centeredness. The Buddha's voice softened as he spoke. Their actions are not a reflection of the giver but of their own inner turmoil. The disciples sat in silence, the lessons seeping into their souls like rain upon parched earth. Ananda, still kneeling, asked, Master, how can we protect our hearts from the pain of betrayal? The Buddha's eyes gleamed with understanding as he replied, Ananda, the antidote to pain is the cultivation of wisdom and equanimity. He gestured toward the Bodhi tree, its roots entwined in the earth. Like this tree, anchor your compassion in the soil of wisdom and let your actions bloom without attachment. Generosity must be guided by discernment, the Buddha explained. Discernment does not diminish compassion but strengthens it, ensuring it nurtures without draining the giver. He then spoke of the qualities to seek in those we help. Seek those whose hearts are fertile ground for growth, where kindness can inspire gratitude and transformation. However, do not shun those trapped in ignorance, the Buddha added. Extend compassion to them, but with caution and boundaries. The wind carried the scent of jasmine as the Buddha continued his teaching. Ananda, betrayal can be a teacher if you allow it. It reveals the impermanence of human behavior and attachments. Embrace the lessons of betrayal without letting it cloud your heart. Transform pain into wisdom and strength. The disciples nodded, their minds alight with new understanding. The Buddha then recited a verse to conclude his teaching. The compassionate heart, untethered by expectation, blooms like the lotus, unstained by the mud of ingratitude. Ananda rose, his burden lightened by the Buddha's wisdom. He bowed deeply, gratitude evident in his every movement. The assembly dispersed, each disciple reflecting on the profound truths they had witnessed. The grove, now quiet, stood as a living testament to the timeless teachings of the Enlightened One. Another day, another lesson. The disciples gathered under the expansive sky. The Buddha seated in calm meditation amidst nature's embrace. A farmer named Sudama approached with a heavy heart and eyes filled with despair. Bowing low before the teacher, "Master, I gave my harvest to feed my neighbors during a famine," Sudama began, his voice trembling with sadness. He handed the leaf to Ananda, who held it with care, as if it were a sacred object carrying profound meaning. "Aging is not to be feared," the Buddha continued, his voice firm yet compassionate. The Buddha looked at Sudama with infinite compassion, his voice steady yet gentle. "Sudama, kindness without wisdom becomes like a tree that bears fruit yet cannot protect its roots from erosion." His gaze shifted to the disciples, who leaned in closely to hear. Generosity must arise from strength, not weakness, and be tempered by discernment and boundaries to guard against misuse. The Buddha shared the story of a merchant named Driti, who gave freely but faced betrayal from those she helped. Driti provided shelter and food to travelers but found herself cheated and abandoned when her generosity was exhausted. Her pain led her to seek me, asking why her kindness had backfired and brought her suffering. The Buddha continued. "I told her, compassion without discernment is vulnerable to exploitation. Balance generosity with wisdom to nurture true harmony." He then turned back to Sudama and addressed the farmer's plight. "Sudama, your neighbors mistake kindness for a source they can endlessly tap. Blinded by their greed and ignorance, do not allow their actions to harden your heart or extinguish your compassion," the Buddha advised. "But learn to set boundaries that protect your well-being and dignity." The disciples sat in thoughtful silence, absorbing the Buddha's profound words. The Buddha regarded the monk with compassion, his gaze steady and filled with understanding of the universal suffering. "Do you remember Nakulapita, the householder devoted to the path of Dharma?" the Buddha asked, his voice a gentle cadence. The Buddha then spoke of the nature of selfish hearts, their inability to perceive the depth of true kindness. Selfishness blinds people to gratitude and fosters a cycle of taking without appreciation or awareness. "Sudama, do not expect gratitude from those who lack the capacity for it," the Buddha said gently. "Instead, cultivate equanimity and free yourself from the chains of expectation." His gaze swept the assembly, his words resonating deeply with each listener. Those trapped in greed and ingratitude are prisoners of their own ignorance, deserving compassion, yet requiring caution. "Help them if you can," the Buddha continued, "but know when to walk away, preserving your inner peace and strength." The golden rays of the setting sun filtered through the trees, illuminating the faces of the disciples. Buddha shared another tale. There was a merchant burdened by his possessions, his steps heavy, his heart weighed by his own choices. Balance compassion with wisdom, and your generosity will flourish like a well-tended garden. Each act of giving carries the seed of transformation, nurturing not only others but also your own path to enlightenment, he added. Sudama knelt before the Buddha, gratitude evident in his every motion, and promised to heed his teachings. The disciples dispersed, their hearts filled with resolve to embody the balance of generosity and discernment. The disciples studied the elder, finding inspiration in his serene demeanor, his eyes reflecting countless lessons learned. The Buddha continued, weaving his words like threads forming a tapestry of truth, one rich with interconnected meanings. Among them was Amala, a merchant who bowed low before the teacher, her face etched with sorrow. "Master, I gave shelter to thieves during a storm," Amala began, her voice trembling with emotion. "They repaid my kindness by stealing from me and leaving me devastated." Tears welled in her eyes as she sought understanding from the Buddha. The Buddha gazed at Amala with infinite compassion, his voice calm and unwavering. Amala, betrayal does not define the giver. It reveals the nature of the receiver. He paused, letting the wisdom of his words seep into the hearts of the disciples. Kindness, rooted in love and wisdom, remains unshaken even when it is met with ingratitude or harm. The Buddha then recounted the tale of a monk named Vara who was betrayed by a prince he once saved. Vara nursed the injured prince back to health, only to be cast aside and discredited when the prince regained power. "Thank you, Blessed One," the young monk said, his gratitude echoing the sentiments shared by all present. The Buddha nodded, his serene presence offering solace and encouragement to those around him, a beacon amidst life's uncertainties. "Aging is not the closing of a door but the opening of many others," the Buddha said, his voice unwavering. The disciples exchanged smiles, their hearts lightened by the profound truths, the words planting seeds of acceptance within them. "Do not let the actions of others extinguish your inner light," he advised. "Cultivate forgiveness, for it unshackles the heart and nurtures peace." The gentle breeze rustled the leaves as the Buddha spoke of the nature of forgiveness and its transformative power. Forgiveness is not for the benefit of the betrayer but for the liberation of the betrayed. Through forgiveness, you transcend the pain inflicted upon you, freeing your heart to embrace compassion once more, he explained. Amala listened, her tears beginning to dry as hope flickered within her. Kindness betrayed must not lead to bitterness but to greater understanding and equanimity, the Buddha continued. Your compassion can bloom again, like the lotus that rises above the murky waters. The sun dipped below the horizon, its golden light fading, yet leaving behind the promise of a new dawn. The disciples walked with the Buddha, their hearts filled with gratitude for his presence, their minds contemplative of his truths. The monastery gardens echoed with silence, the kind that follows profound revelation, a stillness rich with understanding. Aging, the Buddha said as he walked, is an invitation to look within, to find the treasures hidden beneath the surface of impermanence. Do not close your heart to the world because of their actions, he added. Let their betrayal become a lesson in discernment and strength. The Buddha then spoke of balance, reminding the disciples to temper compassion with wisdom and boundaries. Generosity must be guided by awareness, ensuring it inspires good and prevents harm to both the giver and the receiver. He gestured to the roots of the Bodhi tree, deeply entwined in the earth. Anchor your heart in wisdom, and let your compassion grow steadily, unshaken by the storms of betrayal. The true strength of kindness lies not in its reception but in its unwavering nature, the Buddha concluded. When kindness becomes boundless, it transcends the limitations of human expectations and attachments. Amala knelt before the Buddha, her heart uplifted by his wisdom, and vowed to embrace forgiveness and balance in her life. The disciples departed the grove, their minds illuminated by the teachings, each resolving to cultivate compassion, wisdom, and resilience. The Buddha rose, his movements deliberate and serene, his presence an enduring inspiration to those who followed him. Let this day be a reminder, the Buddha said, that the fear of aging can be replaced with a quiet acceptance. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.